Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Mission Matters. My name is Adam Torres, and if you'd like to apply to be a guest in the show, just head on over to missionmatters.com and click on Be Our Guest to apply. All right, so today is a very special episode. We're bringing back onto the show Paul Berry. Let me tell you, Paul's always coming up with something new, and I'm looking at this show he told me about, Continuum. And first thing first, Paul, welcome back to the show, but I want to get into your show. So first, welcome back.
Oh, thank you very much. Pleasure to be back.
All right, so I got to get into this. You sent me this flyer. You told me about this show that you're doing. First off, I didn't know you were producing a new show, number one. But number two, what inspired this? What inspired the show?
Well, the funniest thing is I haven't been on stage for 15 years. My life took a completely different departure and then went into the pandemic and then took me back to Australia to nurse my parents through cancer and then brought me back here, and I reconnected with Ikigai, which is a Japanese concept that I've been sort of teaching to my clients over the years. And when I came back from Australia, I kind of had a clean slate in front of me again. And I had to ask myself, what is my Ikigai? What do I love? What am I good at? What can I get paid for and what the world needs? And right there in the center of that, what is my Ikigai? And I realized it had to be something to do with business, but also with performance and filmmaking and storytelling and community building and technology. And as I did all of that, I realized I'm missing something. There's definitely something else that I have in my life that I love, that if I could choose to put that into the mix. And it was magic. It was something that I learned a little bit during the pandemic. I used to do a bit of magic when I was a kid. We've done some magic in a two-man comedy show that I used to do back in Australia. And I was like, wow, I did some for my 50th, and it was a bit of fun and everybody enjoyed it. And I thought I would love to turn that into a show one day. And so I recently wound up with a company and thought, well, another blank slate. What do I want to do? So I thought cleaning off that entire slate, if I could put onto that whatever I wanted, I would love to create a one-man comedy magic show that I can turn into a show that I can tour, potentially eventually grow into something that I take to the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. But for now, that's my entire focus.
Talk to me about what goes into even putting together a show like this. What's the vision? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I would never dream of it unless I absolutely knew that I could do it. I've been a teacher I taught for 25 years, taught thousands of people and spoke on stages with hundreds of people. So I already knew that I could communicate and engage a crowd, and I'm pretty good at crowd management, which is something that you would want to know before you do any kind of a magic show. I knew that the magic tricks and the illusions and so on that I wanted to do would have to fit the story that I'm trying to tell, not just be a typical magic show. This is a theater piece that just happens to have about 50 magic tricks in it. And
50?
Oh, yeah. Maybe even more. Some of them you get like 7 in about 10 seconds. But, yeah. So I knew there had to be something that were pretty much like I could practice them and I could perform them. They weren't going to take years of building the skill. But then I also, because some of it is magic and some of it is mentalism, for many, many years, the work that I've done in my teaching and my coaching has actually felt a lot like that anyway, so it didn't feel like a huge leap to go into mentalism, for instance. And so then I thought, okay, like I always do with anything that I ever do, I just say, I would rather spend the next couple of days 100% committing myself to what if, and then even if it doesn't work, oh well, it only took me a couple of days. It's not really a waste of time. It was just my weekend anyway. So I started building what I thought this show would be if there was going to be a show. And I knew I wanted to cut someone in half, but I wanted that person to be me. So I thought, how can you cut someone in half in a new way? So I decided, what if I created parallel universes where it's kind of a parable of my life, where I spent a lot of time in 2 different universes, the performance universe and the business universe. I thought, what if they're actually coinciding in parallel timelines? And what if I could go back and forth between them? So then I had this image. I had to create a poster to start promoting it. So I thought, well, I've got to put something on there, but then whatever I put on there, I have to put in the show because I don't want to false advertise it. So I had this idea of a guy crawling into a box on one side of the stage and crawling out of the box on the other side of the stage. So when he crawls in, you see his head pop out, and when his head pops back, his bum pops out of the other one. And so I thought, that's a pretty cool illusion. I like that.
Hold on. Hence the flyer, right? And you have a
That's
mug,
right.
man. I was like, Paul, you got a mug with this guy's butt sticking out of a box, and it's literally called, everybody thinks I'm joking. It's called Bunny and Butt in a Box mug.
That's the merch, Bunny and Butt. So you can have the mug and you can look at it.
I was like, what is going on?
So I started with that idea, and that was like my tipping my hat to the grand illusions of magic of days gone past, where you cut someone in half and you move their bottom half and their top half around. But then beyond that, I thought, well, okay, that's a fun little gag, but what does that mean? And I was like, well, okay, well, what if this guy comes into his usual office job and then everything's a bit different? There's been a storm the night before, and he suddenly starts to experience all of these glitches like Neo in the Matrix, and he starts to feel and experience these strange glitches, which to him, they're just glitches, but to us, they're magic tricks. He doesn't see them that way because he's completely oblivious. So then he finds this box and he opens the box and a giant white bunny pops out and with Morpheus glasses and starts telling him to take the red pill or the blue pill. And, well, you imagine what's going to happen for the show to continue. But then he goes into the box and he comes out and he's on stage as a magician, and now he has to work out how to do magic. And so the whole thing is very, very fun, very absurd.
The name. Give me, how'd you come up with the name? So Continuum. Where'd that come from?
So the idea of Continuum being that every single one of us on the planet, if you could line every one of us up from left to right and then say, okay, everybody who is the tallest go to the right and everyone who's the shortest go to the left. Everyone who's got lots of money go over here and everyone who hasn't. In every single way that we assess ourselves and view ourselves in society, there is this continuum that just goes from one end to the other. And if you looked at it in that way, you barely notice a difference between people as you go. But if you look at one end and then you look at the other end, of course, it's completely vastly different. And I wanted to play with this idea that a guy who has a unfulfilling, boring office job can jump basically to the other end of the spectrum. And then if you could, for instance, if you had no money and then you won $1 billion, most people who win vast sums of money but don't earn it, they mess things up pretty quickly and they lose all of their money. And the idea of the continuum is if he could jump from one end to the other, and then that power sort of tries to take him over, he has to find his way to find balance between the two. And it is a comedy, trust me, it does sound very serious, but I wanted to weave together comedy, magic, some sort of a morality tale about, living your life before it's gone, and how in some ways the big leap is not even necessary. You can make small changes along the way. But on the flip side, you actually can find little back doors occasionally, and you can get to completely different parts of your life that you didn't think you had access to, but you can't if you're not open to it.
Amazing. Paul, talk to me about dates and location.
So it's happening here in Santa Monica at the Illusion Magic Lounge. It's on 4th Street.
I like that area, by the way. Did they redo it, or they did some things to it recently? I feel like pre-COVID versus post. Am I off on that?
No, not at all. It used to be called Magicopolis. It was actually run by a working magician who'd traveled America and the world for years, and he wanted a place that he could just start doing magic himself and bring people to it. So he established that many years ago, but then it kind of fell into a bit of disrepair. So it was, I think, only a few years ago taken over by a guy called Randy, who's fantastic, and he has completely done it up. He's got amazing acts in there all the time. The theater is just beautiful, and it's a really amazing community of people doing cabaret and variety arts and magic and all sorts of different things. And I was very fortunate to walk in there, see a show, walk up to Randy afterwards and say, I want to do my show here. And he was like, okay. Sounds good. I told him, and I think he was more curious than anything about how on earth this crazy thing was going to come into reality. But so the dates are next Wednesday, Thursday, so the 1st and 2nd of October, 7:30 p.m. People can go to dreamingforaliving.com/show, SHOW, and it'll take them to the page where they have all the information about it. But yeah, look, really excited to share this with people because not only is this a fun thing for me to do, I really think right now it's exactly what the world needs. In terms of Ikigai, what you love what you do well, what you get paid for, and what the world needs. I really do believe that this story and magic and comedy is really exactly what people need, some optimism and some fun and some joy in their lives right now.
Awesome. And where do they grab tickets? What's the website and all that good stuff? I definitely want people to go and check that out. I mean, I'm looking forward to it. It's an amazing, amazing event. And I looked at the website and all the other things you're doing. I'm like, it looks great. How do they grab tickets?
Well, thank you. Yeah. So if they can go to dreamingforaliving.com/SHOW. So that's my show. And later on, I'll have another show and they can use that same link. But for now, dreamingforaliving.com/show. And that'll take them to the Continuum page.
Perfect. And for everybody listening, just so you know, we'll definitely put some links in the show notes so you can just click on the links and head right on over. And speaking of the audience, if this is your first time with Mission Matters and you haven't done it yet, hit that subscribe or follow button. This is a daily show. Each and every day we're bringing you new content, new ideas, and hopefully new inspiration to help you along the way on your journey as well. So again, hit that subscribe or follow button. And Paul, thanks again for coming on the show.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me again.